and get live reactions to the biggest playoff moments with BetMGM tonight. Get started with the Odyssey app or find us on Twitch.
This program is a paid commercial announcement and in no way represents the views of WPHT or its management.
WPHT, WPHT-HD, WOGL HD3 Philadelphia. An Odyssey station. This is Investor Schooling Live with your host Larry Steinhouse, CEO of Investor School.
Good afternoon and welcome to Investor Schooling Live. I have to tell Frank that the name of the company that has been on his station for the last 4 years is Investor Schooling, not Investor School. Oh, boy. Anyway, we're over here at Investor Schooling headquarters. I'm Larry Steinhouse. I am the CEO of Investor Schooling. Get ready to learn real estate investing and stock options trading. And, of course, if you'd like, you can call me at 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. That's right. Today, it's a live program, so you can call in any time of the show. I'll take your calls. Hey, don't worry about what I'm talking about. Just give me a call because I'd love to take your calls. At Investor Schooling, we teach real estate investing, stock options trading, how to save money and taxes, how to be financially free, and we even give you the motivation to make money make money work for you instead of you working for money. Investor Schooling is located in Bucks County, right outside of Pennsylvania. Right outside of Pennsylvania. No, we're located in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, right off the Newtown Bypass, serving the New Jersey and Philadelphia area in a real brick-and-mortar building. Our students are also located in several states with our exclusive web access to our classes and seminars. Hey, get ready to learn this business, the business of real estate investing and stock options trading from people who do it every day. Welcome to Investor Schooling Live. I am Larry Steinhouse. All right, so some of you guys are wondering, hey, where's Phil? Well, I thought I'd address that, let you guys know what's going on. So Phil has actually left the company, and he left the company. As you guys know, he'd been talking about moving to Florida for a very long time, and he actually found a house there, and he's getting ready to go. So there's a lot of things that he needs to do in the meantime. So that's kind of what's going on. So we had a long conversation. He thought it was best if he stepped down, and I really miss him, actually. I enjoyed doing the show with him. You guys probably realize that. What a great time we had doing the show, and I also enjoyed having him in the school as well. He did some really great presentations. So now you got to just listen to my voice without his voice. You no longer will hear from the mafioso shyster, and he will no longer say, free coffee! So I don't know what else to tell you, but if you want to call me, give me a call and call me at 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. All right. I want to talk a little bit about Mother's Day because Mother's Day is tomorrow. If you're listening on Saturday, you know that Mother's Day is tomorrow. And if you're listening on the repeat, if you're listening today at the repeat, which is tomorrow on Sunday, that's confusing, but you'll understand it tomorrow when you listen to it on Sunday. All right, anyway. So if you're listening to it on Sunday, you know it's Mother's Day today. And if you're listening to it today on Saturday, then you know it's Mother's Day tomorrow. I'm getting so confused. I'm like in a time warp. So I want to talk to you about Mother's Day, and I want to ask you guys a question. So if you guys could call me, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. I want to find out what the most interesting Mother's Day present you ever gave your mother was. So what's the most interesting present you ever gave your mother? Give me a call at 855-939-1137. I'll tell you what, if you call and I find it interesting, we're having an event on June 1st. I'm launching my new book called Money Hacks. And this is a paid event, like the last one. It's also a paid event. And if you give me a call, I will let you come to this event. I will give you a ticket to this event for free. As a matter of fact, I'll give you and a guest a ticket to this event. It's the Money Hacks event. It's on Wednesday, June 1st. I'll be launching my book, so it'll be a book launch. And I'll be talking about some of the chapters in the book and about how to make more money, pay less taxes, and live a better life. So if you give me a call and I like it, you definitely will be able to come, 855-939-1137. So what is the most interesting Mother's Day gift that you ever gave your mother? I'm going to tell you what mine is. Not yet. I'm going to tell you later on the show because you guys will find it. If you don't find it funny, I'm sorry you have no sense of humor. And I'm hoping my mother is listening right now because she actually remembers it. And I remember giving it to her. She opened it up and she laughed hysterical. But there's a whole story behind it. So I need to tell you the story. And then I'm going to tell you the gift. So again, 855-939-1137. Call me. Let me know what the most interesting Mother's Day gift you ever gave your mother was. All right. I want to talk about real quick about, because it's funny because now we've got, since it's Mother's Day, we have a lot of people. Look, we know what's coming. We know a recession is coming. We know that affordability of housing is going to change. And in 2008, I don't know if you remember, but in 2008, there were many adult children, and they ended up living with their parents when the financial bottom dropped out, right? So the adult children, sometimes even with children of their own, moved back with mom and dad because they either lost their house to foreclosure or lost their job during the 2008 Great Recession, or maybe they were even evicted from an apartment, right? So recent studies, and actually, interestingly enough, that recent studies are saying now that half of all children currently are tapping their parents for money to make ends meet. So I found that interesting. I thought it was an interesting time to talk about Mother's Day with that as well. So if you are one of those parents or one of those children that's supporting your children or your parent, you could be anonymous if you like, or you could change your name. And I'd like to know your story on that as well, if you'd like to call in and tell me about that. So we've seen that happen in 2008. We saw children moving in with their parents, and their parents basically, helping them out. What are you going to do? So I know there was times where, there were times when I was younger, much younger, that I did tap my parents for money. I needed it. There was nothing I can do, and I had to bite that bullet. Ask my mom for some money. She gave it to me, and she was a great mom, and that's probably why I gave her this great gift. When you guys hear about it, you'll love it. So let me know if you were ever in that situation or what you think that situation is. We also know that house pricing is going up, and mortgage rates are going up. How long do you think that's going to be sustainable? When do you think the next Great Recession, or when do you think the housing market is going to change? I've given my opinion. I actually think that this spring, the one we're in right now, will be the last best time to sell a house and the highest prices you're going to pay for a house. So now you're kind of in a conundrum. I know one of my children right now is buying a house, and he's not moving in until December. And the problem with that is he's buying a new construction house, so every month that the interest rates go up, it makes it harder and harder for him to afford that new house. And, he's making some nice money, and his wife's making some nice money, so I'm not worried about it. But they also have the situation where they need to sell their house, and they can't sell their house now because that other house won't be ready till December. So if it isn't ready till December and they try to sell their house now to get the most amount of money for it, they have no place to live. And I'm certainly not going to put them up because that's not what I do. Now, I actually don't have enough room for them and the baby and their dog, so I couldn't do it anyway. But the reality is a lot of people are having a little bit of trouble with this, and they don't know what to do. Should they sell their house now and wait to buy a house? Like in this case, can they do that, right? All right, so real quick, I got Sarah on the line. What's going on, Sarah? Can you tell me about your Mother's Day?
Oh, yeah, I thought it was funny. My mother used to complain about the cost of cards from the Hallmark or whatever store.
Oh, wow.
So she's like, I don't want a card. Just give me the money that it costs. So literally one year I did send her a check, including the cost of a card, in a regular envelope.
Wait, did you include the price of the stamp, too, in the check?
No, because the stamp was on the envelope. But
oh, yeah, that's right. The stamp was on the envelope. Right?
And it brought a smile to her face.
So what did your mom say? Your mom said, she doesn't even get me a card, right?
No, yeah, right. It always backfires. So
right.
It really made her laugh, and she didn't even realize that she said it. Like, I was like, oh, you did. So it was a good Mother's Day.
That's awesome.
A lot of laughs.
That's awesome. So what are you doing for Mother's Day tomorrow? Anything exciting?
My son has been taking me out to IHOP for breakfast since he was young, so that's what I'll be doing for Mother's Day.
IHOP? Listen, you tell him to come to Investor Schooling this week, and next year he's going to take you to the Capitol Grill for Mother's Day, all right?
Oh, yes. We've been to the Capitol Grill like that. Yes.
It's my favorite place to eat.
When he was young.
All right. Hey,
it's his favorite place, too. That's why we go.
So I'll tell you what, Sarah, can you make it on June 1st to our event?
I think I would like to come. I've just been recently listening to you. I'm not the money person. My husband is, so I'd like to bring him.
Absolutely. We'll get you 2 tickets.
Because he's big into Yeah, and we're at close to retirement age, so we're trying to figure out what to do and everything. So, yep, that'd be great.
So that actually, yeah, just so real quick to tell you a little bit about investor schooling, we don't sell any products. We just sell education. So that's kind of cool. So you could actually come here, learn, and go seek out the people to sell you the products that we would teach you. So I'm going to tell you what, Glenn's going to take your name. Okay. He's going to take your phone number, and he's going to take your email address, hopefully, if we can get that right, because sometimes it's hard to understand it. But if he's going to get your name, your email address, and your phone number, and someone's going to contact you. And I so appreciate you being a listener. I'm looking forward to seeing you on the 1st.
Yeah, sounds great. Thank you.
All right, we also have Celeste. What's going on, Celeste in San Diego? I love it when people listen to me far away. What's going on, Celeste?
Hi. So my mom listens to you all the time. She's there in Bensalem, Pennsylvania. She's like, call him. If anything, he can try to give you some guidance. So
all right, what's going on?
I'm a new realtor in San Diego. I'm a new realtor here, and I'm having a hard time, like, just having buyers go through, the process fully through closing and even just getting listings. So I said, let me call and see if maybe he can try to guide me or give me some type of guidance on that.
So Celeste, how long have you been a realtor?
Since June of last year. So It'll be coming up a year.
All right. And so here's where it gets really interesting. And I used to train real estate agents. As a matter of fact, I even wrote a book. You could actually go on Amazon. You could pick up the book if you want to. It's called 12 Practices Real Estate Agents Should Be Doing, and I'll Bet You're Not. So you actually can get a lot of information out of the book. I think I saw it for $5. I don't even care. It was one of those things where I wanted to get it out to people because I thought it was a great book. But here's the deal with that. What the biggest concern or the biggest problem with real estate agents, especially new real estate agents, is they don't understand that they're in a business. It's not a job. So I'm going to ask you a question, and I already know the answer. Do you do floor time?
So I was doing floor time. I stopped doing floor time, and I don't know why. Well, actually, because I was doing it on the weekends, and now my weekends are kind of packed. But so you're saying I need to get back to doing floor time?
No, I'm going to tell you just the opposite. Never do floor time. Oh,
okay.
So that's
really,
yeah. It's actually the very first thing I talk about in my book is never do floor time, because what you're doing is you're actually you're answering the phone. There's someone calling you about a house that they don't know anything about, and they're calling someone else who doesn't know anything about that house either. And the both of you have a conversation about something about a house that neither one of you knows anything about. So that's the first thing about floor time. Here's the other thing: forget buyers.
Okay.
Start concentrating only on listings. And the best way to get listings, I'm telling you right now, is to advertise. You are in a business. So here I am. We are investor schooling, right? So you're in San Diego, so you probably don't get our commercials. But if you follow me on Facebook, you might see we do a ton of advertising for investor schooling to get students in the door. That's what you need to do. You need to start advertising. I don't know what company you work for, and I really don't want to get into it, but whatever company you work for, some of the companies have unique training programs on how to advertise and how to become your own business owner inside real estate. I would start mailing people. I would start mailing expired listings. Although there aren't many now, but there's going to be a lot more next year. Start mailing expired listings. Start mailing people who you think are going to be mailing, going to be moving. Start farming. Are you familiar with the term farming?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So you're going to pick an area, a geographic area. Maybe it's 500 homes, maybe it's 1,000 homes, and you're going to mail them on a consistent basis. And just mail those people. Don't mail anyone else, because then your budget will get too tight. So a lot of people, sometimes, let's say you have a farm, and you get a listing outside your farm, and you want to advertise that listing, right? Where do you think you advertise that listing?
Mm-hmm. Wait, say that again. I'm sorry.
So let's say you got a listing, right? And it's outside your farm. Mm-hmm. It's outside the 500 homes you've been marketing to. And maybe it's in a development, 10 miles down. It's a development 10 miles down, right? Where do you start advertising that one?
You said where?
Yeah, where would you advertise your listing that you got 10 miles outside of your farm?
Well, I would advertise it. You mean on social media and everywhere else?
Yeah, not necessarily social media, but even mailing. So, like a just listed postcard, for example. By the way, are you doing any mailing at all?
Oh, to their neighbors, all that. To their neighbors. I would do my 500, the radius around that I just got the listing for, and even their neighbors, to let them know, hey, I just got this listing. I'm doing this for your neighbor just in case they're,
Right.
they're willing to if they know someone.
So you ready? I'm going to tell you not to do that.
Yep.
Just mail your 500 people.
Really?
Yep. And anybody else on your database. Now, I don't know if you listened to the show before me. Mark Cumberland does a show, Good News in Radio, and it's funny because he and I have the same technique. We use the same technique. It's creating a database and mailing the database on a regular basis. I actually talk about that in the book too. But if you want to pick up that book, pick it up. But you actually will learn a lot from it at the same time. And I also suggest you pick up. And there's another book, and I'll tell you who wrote it. Gary Keller wrote it, and it's called The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. Another really good book to read. Very difficult read, by the way, but it's a really good book. So you might want to read that book and read my book, read his book, and get some ideas. And here's the last thing I'm going to leave you with before I move on. You ready? The last thing I'm going to leave you with is stop talking to the agents in your office who aren't making at least $200,000 a year. Anything that an agent making less than $200,000 a year is doing, you don't want to do. Anything that an agent that's making $200,000 a year or more is doing, that you want to do. And you'll always find it interesting that the agents who are making the most money are in the corner. They're sending out their mail. They're not doing floor time. They're not talking about what, this social media thing that they did or that social media thing that they did. They're talking about pure business ideas. And that's what you're going to learn, pure business ideas. You got it?
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome, and good luck.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck, and I look forward to finding out how you made out with that. All right. Thanks so much.
Yes, I'll call you. Okay.
No, that'd be great. Yeah, sure. And then everybody else is listening. So this is exactly the technique that I use to find homes for sale that I want to buy. It's exactly the same thing. I'm going to pick a list of areas that I want to farm. Let's say it's a development. Let's say it's a condo development. I like condos. I like townhouses. So let's say it's a condo development or a townhouse development that I really want to own houses in. So I'm going to start mailing them. Let's say it's multifamily homes. Let's say it's 10 to 25 multifamily homes. I'm going to find a list of 10 to 25 unit multifamily homes, and I'm going to just start mailing them. I'm sending out postcards. Hey, I want to buy your house. I'm going to send them out letters. I did the same thing. In fact, when you come to Investor Schooling, you're going to see a building that we have that we own. It's a condo. It's actually in a condo complex. It's kind of funny that I like condos and happen to be a condo. It's in a condo complex. It's in an industrial park condo complex, and I bought this from mailing people. I was mailing expired listings saying, hey, I want to buy your commercial property. And sure enough, I come across this property. Guy wants to sell it. He has no interest in owning it anymore. And I actually cut a deal that was so good. The deal that I cut was seller financing 0% interest. So I actually got to buy that for $1,000 a month, and I always talk about it. I bought it for $1,000 a month with no interest. I gave him a $30,000 down payment. And I got that building, and I kept it for a while, and I still have it, but I refinanced it eventually and took a bunch of profit out of it. And it's a great way to buy buildings, is to start mailing expired listings or start mailing people who, again, they just want to sell their house. All right, a couple of people online saying hello. Hey, I see Ken's online and Joe and Mark. Mark, I think last week we were interrupted. You had a question, and we were interrupted by someone who called, who I'm not allowed to talk about anymore. Hint, hint, in case somebody in headquarters is listening. But when he called, I interrupted, and I can't remember what your question was. And Mark, if you want to ask it again, why don't you call in? 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. I'm also asking you guys if you have a interesting Mother's Day present or a Mother's Day story. And if you have an interesting Mother's Day present or story that you want to tell me, I'm going to let you come to the Money Hacks event on me. I'm going to give you 2 free tickets to that event. It's actually a really great event. It's on June 1st. If you want to find out more about that, you can go to moneyhackslive.com. moneyhackslive.com. I will be signing my book, and I will be giving you a bunch of money hacks, and you'll be able to learn how to make more money and learn how to pay less taxes. 855-939-1137 is the phone number, 855-939-1137. All right, so what else is out there? I was looking, you talk about like putting money in a bank and wondering what to do with it. I could not believe that I came across an article last week. Actually, it was a pretty prominent article about Series I bonds. This is, for me, I talk about investing money. I talk about how to make money in the stock market, how to make money in real estate, how to make money grow really fast. And I'm going to be talking about Series I bonds. So some of you may remember the Series EE bonds that maybe your mother or your grandmother bought you for a birthday present, and they said they had a face value. Let's say they had a face value of $50, but they really cost $25, and you had to hold on to them for about 10 years before they were actually worth the $50, which is kind of funny, But it is what it is, right? So they would they would buy them, and then when you got older, you go, oh, I got all these bonds, and you added them all up, and you go, look, I thought they were going to be more money than this. It's only like $800 in bonds, and you cash them in, and you got your $800. If you waited too long, maybe you got a little bit more than $800, and the interest rate was probably around 3 or 4% normally. Well, the Series I bond, holy cow, is giving right now. It's at 9.63% interest on the bond. So if you put $1,000 into this bond, you're gonna make $96.30 interest at the end of the year. That's amazing for a bond. I mean, 9.63% interest on a bond. Now, I will tell you that there is a $10,000 limit on this. Now, there also, and you know me, money hacks. I know the hacks. I know how to do this so you can put more money into it. So if anybody actually saw this article, like, wow, I wish I could put more money into this bond because I have more than $10,000. There's a couple of ways to do it. One is the simple way, which is interesting. If you have a tax refund of $5,000 or more, you can actually use your tax refund to buy a bond as well. So you could buy a $10,000 bond, and you can buy another up to maximum $5,000 also of the bond at 9.63%, which is pretty good. But you also can do this, and it's the $10,000 limit is for every entity or every person. So if you want to, you can put $10,000 in. Your spouse could put $10,000 in. You could put $10,000 in for your children, each child. You could open up a trust if you don't already have it. I talk about trusts all the time. You could open up a trust, and you could put $10,000 into the trust. You can open up an LLC. You can put $10,000 into the LLC. So there you go. You got 50, 60, whatever, how many thousand you want to put in, and you could do it, but they're just $10,000 for each entity, for each Social Security number or each EIN number, and that is the way to do it if you want to learn if you want to put that money in and it makes 9.63%. Now, I will also warn you that the 9.63% is guaranteed only for a half a year, and then it probably is going to go down. But even if it goes down to 4 or 5, it's still a great rate. You're still going to be making 6 or 7% on your money. And again, I can't believe I'm talking about this. This blows my mind. I usually make fun of people who buy bonds because you can make so much more money in the stock market or so much more money in just about everything else out there, right? Especially stock options. But, right now, it might not be a bad idea to be safe, especially with what's going on. I mean, the stock market, we saw the stock market on Thursday drop, but, at one point it was down 1,300 points. 1,300 points. That's a bit rough. Now, I will also tell you, some of you guys know I do another radio show during the day, and I do it actually at 7:30 in the morning on another station. But on that station, I actually, every single day, I pegged it. I picked exactly what the stock market was going to do. Even on Friday, I said that the morning was going to be really, really bad, and then the stock market would close either up or down about 100 points. And it's funny, it actually closed down 98 points. So if you're listening to the other show, you're getting a lot of good advice there. All right, anybody else have an interesting story about Mother's Day? 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137, whatever your Mother's Day gift was or an interesting Mother's Day story. All right, we got Mark in Pottstown. What's going on, Mark?
Hey, Larry, how are you? I'm the guy that was talking with you last week, and I think you preempted me for a senator.
Yeah. It's one of those things that, I mean, you're an important guy, but he was just a little bit more important. Yeah. Don't mention his name. I got in trouble for that, by the way.
Oh, okay. No, I won't.
And you're not involved in politics at all, are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay, good. Then I can talk to you.
No, I run like hell from politics.
I don't blame you. So what's going on, man? How can I help you?
No, I just so number one, I really enjoy your 7:30 show.
Thank you, man.
In the morning show. I mean, I like it because it's like brief enough that you don't have to get too involved, and it's current. You do it every day. So I've been telling all my friends that are interested in finance to tune into that. But
that's about most people's
tolerance.
I was talking about a half hour. That's about most people's tolerance.
Yeah.
So that's Glenn, our producer, chiming in. He's bored. He wants to talk to me.
I said that's about most people's tolerance. A half hour. He's like, it's good. It's half hour. Yeah, then you're gone.
All right, so what? I got 4 more minutes, and everybody's
He's
going to
a
stop
pal,
listening
right,
to me,
though.
Glenn. Is that the story?
I guess.
Well, that's why I'm keeping the story of
I
my
can't-
favorite Mother's
I
Day
can't-
present.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mark. Glenn cut you off. Go
I
ahead.
can't count how many business meetings. I sit in, and like after 25 minutes, I'm out.
Oh, you need to come to Investor
Like
Schooling.
if you're a pastor.
You need to come to Investor Schooling, Mark. I will have you on the edge of your seat till the minute you leave.
Okay, I might take you up on that. So
Go right now. Go to
Go to
investorschooling.com right now. Sign up, and I promise you, I will keep you on the edge of your seat till the minute you leave. Especially when the stock option consultant comes out, all dressed in gold.
Yeah, I will give that a shot. So, I mean, you guys, talk about stock options and real estate.
Correct.
Stock options scare me, probably because I don't understand it.
Sure.
Probably. To me, it seems too much like gambling, but maybe I just don't know enough about it. But the real estate side of it interests me. But that being said, you and I were talking when we got cut off about I'd like to get involved, but I'm not a do-it-yourself type guy.
Correct. Right. You don't want to fix your own. You don't want to fix your own
I don't know
problems,
whether
right?
I could. But that's got to. Isn't that the most profitable way to go if you're that type of person? Can you still make decent money without being that type of fix it, up yourself type? Is my question.
I'm actually going to say to you that you will make more money if you don't do it yourself. If you hire people to do it, you will make more money.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it sounds counterintuitive, right? Because you're thinking you're spending more money, right? That's true on a project. But if you have multiple projects and you make this a real business, you don't want to be stuck in the quagmire. You want to be out buying houses while your crew is renovating houses, or you want to be out doing other things. You could pay. Remember, let's say putting a toilet in. Okay, so the toilet, The toilet's $150. Actually, let's say a toilet's $150, right? And the waxy ring is about $20, and the whatever, and you're gonna take your day, your 3 hours, maybe 4, because you've never done it before, and you're gonna put the toilet in yourself. You could have paid somebody $150 to $200 for that 4 hours. That wouldn't take them 4 hours. It'd probably take them 20 minutes, and you could go about your day. You could do other things. You could look for other houses, maybe. You could talk about other restaurants. You could even watch TV. I mean, there are times where I would gladly pay somebody $100 so I could sit home and do nothing, right? Although I hate sitting home and do nothing. Just by the way, I'm just using that as an example. So just understand that it's always better to hire people. I mean, like the other day I had drapes. So I had a tenant move out. And they left the place spotless. It was probably one of the best tenants I ever had. Left the place spotless. It was just that the drapes were all, it was like those vertical blinds. Vertical blinds around a sliding glass door. You know what I mean? Like the vertical blinds. Mm-hmm. And they were old and tattered at this point. So don't you think I could take out a screw gun and change these vertical blinds and save myself maybe $100 for the guy to install it? Forget that. I called my guy, my handyman. I said, go there, change the vertical blinds, take a look at the rest of the place, see if anything else needs to be done. He calls me up. He goes, hey, I noticed a couple of screens are damaged too. You want me to fix those? I go, yeah, just fix them. And then he'll send me a bill. I'll fix it. I don't even care. If you're making money and your business is a good running business, those expenses are nothing. In fact, you're going to get tired of running out. So here's 2 suggestions for you. One is definitely buy properties. And if you don't want to do it yourself, don't do it yourself. Even if you want to get a property manager. I self-manage some of my properties now, but most of my properties now are property manager. I self-manage some. I actually enjoy self-managing it. I went today. I rented a place in 2 minutes. No big deal. Met the tenant. I actually like meeting the tenant because I like helping them. And then as far as stock options go, what you said before is absolutely correct. You're scared of them because you don't know anything about them. It doesn't mean, and by the way, most people who trade stock options are gambling. Most people. We teach a method that's not gambling. I came up with a system or a set of rules, if you want to call it that. A set of rules is actually what it is. It's called the Rules of the Crazy Options Trader. I came up with these rules about 12 years ago. And how the whole story started and why investor schooling even exists today is because I was trading stock options for about 4 years, and I had no idea what I was doing. I would just buy it. I learned how to buy stock options, which one of the things I teach people is don't learn how to buy stock options unless you know how to buy stock options. Because once you know the mechanics of buying stock options, you're going to do it and you're going to lose money every time. And I went back and I was there doing it for about 4 years. And I actually noticed that in that 4 years, I actually made $8,000 total. And I was actually surprised, knowing what I know now, that I actually made any money. It was nice to know that I made $8,000, but it was nice to know that I even made money knowing what I know now. And I started to examine the trades. And I started writing down on a piece of paper all the rules. I noticed some trades I was making money, some trades I weren't. Some trades I was up like 20 grand, and I ended up losing 10. What did I do? Why did I not sell it here and blah, 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 right? So then I started, and I sat down, I made a complete set of rules. And when I made those rules, I started trading those rules. Well, I completed those rules somewhere around May of that year, and I can't remember what year it was, but it was May of that year, and that year I made $80,000 trading stock options. The following year, I made about $125,000, and then subsequent years, I made anywhere between $200,000 and $300,000 most of the time. I will tell you, it's an open book. I tell everybody everything I do because I want you to trust me, and I want you to understand that what I do is real. Last year, I had a terrible year. It was the worst year I had trading stock options ever, but it just happened to be that it was 3 plays that happened to be in the rules that I just put too much money in, which, by the way, is sort of a rule because one of my rules is don't bet the farm. But I went a little bit heavy on these 3 trades, and it cost me a lot of money. This year, I tell you, I'm up about $100,000, and now I'm up $100,000, but I'm up $100,000, and I will never pay taxes on that $100,000. I mean, never. So these are all things that I will teach you if you want to come by and find out more. I'm expecting you to come.
All righty. I think I'll be there.
All right, cool. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up, man. Hey, Mark, I'm looking forward to meeting you. Make sure you tell me who you are when you come in.
Oh, you got it.
All right. Oh, and hey, listen, what's your Mother's Day story? Did you ever get your Mother's Day a really cool gift? Your mother a really cool gift?
No, actually, I won't Mother's Day, but I bought my so back when heating prices were going crazy, I bought my my mom and dad a kerosene heater for Christmas. This is like 25, 30 years ago, and my mom opens it up and starts crying.
Oh, come on. That's a good
and
story,
runs
man.
into her bedroom.
That's a great story. All right. He wins, Glenn. He wins.
It turns out I didn't know that my mom, that her house had burnt down from a kerosene lamp.
That's the opposite story.
Many years ago.
Oh, jeez.
Dad, what? He's like, oh, don't you know about the kerosene lamp? I was like, what? He's like, no, her house burnt down from a kerosene lamp.
Wow. Wait, so
and here I am thinking
those were
I'm spending
tears
like
of fear.
I know. I thought it was tears of joy.
Tears of fear.
Well, Mark, wait till you hear the story.
It's not exactly Mother's Day.
Yeah, exactly. Well, wait till you hear the story of my Mother's Day present. You're gonna enjoy it after you just told me that story, and that's a hint about what the story is about. But I'll tell you what. Right now, Glenn's gonna take your information, and if you can make it, can you make it June 1st on Wednesday night at 6:00? And I'm even buying you dinner.
Yeah, I think I can.
All right, cool.
All right.
So Glenn will take your information down, your name, your phone number, and your email, and someone will reach out to you and get you those tickets. And Glenn, hey, can you take us to a commercial while you do that? This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor School.
You got it.
Thanks, bud.
I'm going to get his info right now.
Yep, thanks. Yes. At Investor Schooling, we teach you how to own real assets like real estate, gold, silver, and other investments, including stocks, stock options, and even the basics of cryptocurrency. We even teach you how to pay thousands less in taxes legally. So go to investorschooling.com and find out how you can attend a complimentary class this Thursday. investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhouse, and you have probably heard my radio shows and listened to my great advice on how you can make more money and pay less taxes. Well, I just finished writing a book on all things I teach at Investor Schooling and on my radio shows. This book is called Money Hacks, and you want a copy of this book, and you can pre-order this book wherever books are sold. Look for Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. Hey, it might even be a tax deduction. Order Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse wherever books are sold, and come see me at Investor Schooling. This This is Larry Steinhouse with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of the Biden economy? Do you want to learn how to thrive in the Biden economy? Because we're going to teach you that this Thursday night at Investor Schooling. So go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night and learn how to thrive in the Biden economy. You could also call us at 215.
Holy moly, this guy's the longest email in the world. You're coming back. Holy moly. Proconics? Some crazy.
He can hear you, by the way. He's on Facebook.
No, he can't hear me.
He can. All right. Welcome back to Investor Schooling Live. I am Larry Steinhouse, and I'm having a good time. Hey, Mark, did you hear him talk about you? Because I want to know. All right. It's all right. Anyway, it's all fun. It's all good. It's always fun. It's always good. It's always fun. It's always good. It's like instead of Mark Cumberland saying good news all the time, instead here it's always fun. It's always good. All right. So we've been talking about special Mother's Day presents. Any interesting stories? We just heard about Mark buying his mother a kerosene heater, and his mother broke down in tears because a long time ago her house burned down from a kerosene heater. And I'm going to tell you an interesting story in a couple of minutes. I'm going to tell you what the Mother's Day present I gave my mother was, that she laughed hysterical. It was actually an interesting story because it'll actually make sense when you hear why I found Mark's story so interesting. So if you have a story and you want to call me, you can get free tickets to the Money Hacks event. Call 855-939-1137. Tell me your Mother's Day story, best gift, or any Mother's Day story that you think would be interesting. 855-939-1137. 855-939-1137. In just a couple of minutes, I'm going to tell you about the Mother's Day story that I had. I'm actually wondering if my mother's listening. I told her to listen, but who knows? She may not have done that. What are you going to do? All right. So let's talk a little bit about what's going on let's talk about what's going on in the stock market, because it's a very interesting stock market right now. We've seen, now I'm going to tell you, Mark was saying he listens to my other show, and I'm going to tell you that I am predicting that the stock market in the middle of this month will go down as low as 31,500. It'll be around there, as if you want to call it a temporary bottom, it'll be a temporary bottom. So I'm actually going to say, I'm also going to predict, and if you listen to my show during the week, you know that I like to predict the market, and I'm going to predict that this coming week is actually going to be not so good, but there's going to be one really good day during the week. And that really good day is going to suck the investors in, and they're all going to be sad that they got in. But it may be a day to get out. So you may have to, if you have some stocks and you want to get out, that may be the day to get out. So just keep that in mind as well as, as we start to see the 31,500, which is where I predict the market's going to go, which, by the way, is only 1,400 points away right now. The other day, it was a lot higher than that, but it's only about 1,400 points away. So if you guys don't understand, there's something called the VIX. So you might want to take a look at the VIX. And the VIX right now is at 30. Now, the VIX they call this a fear indicator. So if you don't know what this is, it's basically a indicator of how many puts and calls there are. And it's a ratio. And I don't exactly know. I've been trying for years to figure out what this ratio is, and I really don't know it. But when the VIX is higher, like it is at 30 right now, to give you a really good example, right before COVID, the VIX was in the 12s and 13s, and when it hit 16 or 17, that was considered high at the time. Now, when the VIX is at 30 like it is now, you're going to have the stock market going kind of crazy, and that's what it is. It actually moves really, really fast. So the volatility will move up and down like crazy. So that's why the VIX is called the volatility index, and the fear index is a nickname for short. So watch the VIX. It's one of those things, you just start to get into the stock market just a little bit. You just start to watch it and start to understand that this number, as it goes up, the fear goes up, and everything else goes down with it. So I don't know about any of you guys who are in crypto, but I've been, it's funny because, crypto was one of those things where I thought crypto was one of the greatest things that some people ever did. I stayed away from crypto. It wasn't my thing. And now we have Bitcoin at about 36,000. And now you got the people at 36,000, they're all saying the same thing. Buy it now, before it goes up, buy it now. It's going to hit 100,000. Now, I don't think it's going to hit 100,000. I've been saying this for a while. The more and more Bitcoin gets adapted into the economy, and it's getting there. The more and more adapted it gets into the economy, the less and less it's going to move up and down. It's going to get tighter and tighter ranges. I actually believe that this is probably going to go down to about maybe 30 to 32,000, and then maybe go back up to 40 or 42,000 and stay in that range for a while. There's really this asset. It's a non-based, there's nothing basing. This asset isn't based on anything. Is what I'm trying to say. It's not based on anything. So it's a little bit. It's basically nothing. It's air. It's just like the dollar right now. And for you guys who don't realize it, the dollar is pretty much meaningless. The dollar, what it means to us is what the value we put on it as a country, just like other countries, it's the value we put on it as a country. So right now, crypto, the value that the people who own it have put on it is approximately $36,000. That's why it's valued what it is. So you could take $36,000 and buy one Bitcoin with that money, and it's just like any other exchange. If you were going to buy the ruble, which, by the way, was a great play. If you would have paid attention to me, I told you a while back to buy that because I thought it was a great play. It was a great play. All right. So if you would buy the ruble, or if you buy the yen, or if you buy any other currency, the franc, and you would just wait for it to move up and down, how it fares with the dollar, you can make money trading that. That's basically what Bitcoin's going to be. There's a lot of new cryptocurrencies coming out there, and people invest in them just to invest in them. They have no idea what they are. They have no idea what they do. And it's funny because you talk to some crypto people who think they're crypto experts, and they can explain the exact difference between each one, but they still can't explain why one goes up and one goes down. That's kind of why I'm not much of a crypto investor. All right, getting back to the topic of the day, which is Mother's Day. And Mother's Day, if you're listening today, it's Saturday when I'm recording this. If you're listening today, Mother's Day is tomorrow. And if you're listening tomorrow, which is now today, if you're listening tomorrow, then Happy Mother's Day today instead of Happy Mother's Day tomorrow. I'm still stuck in that time loop, Glenn. Can you help me out with this, man? What day is it?
I think it's Tuesday. I'm still in Wednesday mode, man.
Hey, guess what, Glenn? My mom is listening, so I'm going to tell the story. Actually, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to actually listen, Mom. I did not write this song, Mom. All right. I want to let you know that the guy who is in PHT, who is my producer right now, Glenn, he wrote this song, and I'm going to play a little piece of it because it's just such a great Mother's Day song. Now, Glenn's getting all embarrassed that I looked this up and I found this song that he recorded, and I listened to it before the show to make sure that it wasn't dirty. So everybody listen to this. I got a treat for you guys. Check this out.
Happy Mother's Day. 100,000 sandwiches is what she made. A different sandwich every single day. Ham and Swiss and tuna fish with mayonnaise. Your mother made one every single day. She would wake up early every morning, while you were still in bed, and do some funny faces without warning. Your friends all saw and you wished you were dead. But 100,000 sandwiches is what she made. A snack or two was tossed in every bag.
Well, Glenn, I'll tell you, I'm impressed, man. That was pretty good that you wrote that song. It's actually a really good song. I like it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
I like it. Well, I will tell you that my mom, in the beginning, she used to make me tuna fish every single day. And then she finally realized that it was a lot easier for her to just give me $1 every day, and I would go buy my own lunch. So thanks, Mom. Glenn's mom made 100,000 sandwiches, Mom. I only think you only made 50,000 sandwiches for me and gave me $50,000. Wait, she gave me $50,000 and I bought lunch with it? But that wasn't too bright. All right, if you got a good Mother's Day story, 855-939-1137. And if my mom wants to call in, 855-939-1137. So now I got to tell you the story about the Mother's Day gift that I gave my mother a couple of years ago. It's actually, I don't know, it might even be 5 or 6 years ago by now. And let me tell you this story because it was funny that, it wasn't really funny that Mark's story kind of dovetails into this story. So What happened was my brother went to visit my mom. My mom has a beautiful house in Florida, and he went to visit my mom in Florida. And, he went to borrow the car. And at that time, she had a Mercedes, I think it was an ML 320, I think it was. And apparently, he takes the car, he pulls it out of the garage, and it's bucking and making noises. And he's like, something's not right with this. Pulls it back into the garage, goes inside, and, tells my mom and my stepdad, hey, I think there's something wrong with the car. Well, they sit there and they're eating breakfast, and all of a sudden someone comes knocking on the door and saying, hey, your garage is on fire. So what happened was this car went on fire. The electrical system went bad in the car. That's what the noise was that my brother heard. And they ran out of the house, and my stepdad tried to pull the car out. I think he actually got it out, but by then the whole garage was on fire. And the three of them just watched the entire house burn down. I mean, it literally burned down to the ground. It was actually pretty sad. And so Mark, if you're listening, you could understand why I had this. I said that this story dovetailed into your story. So, it was about a year later, and the house is rebuilt or almost being rebuilt or whatever. Lots of bad things happened. She got insurance money. They went to rebuild the house, and it was a little tough time for my mom for about a year, maybe a little longer. So the following Mother's Day, when Mother's Day came, I gave my mom a box, and she opened it up. And I actually literally gave my mom a fire extinguisher. That was her Mother's Day present. What do you think of that, Glenn? Now, my mom has a really good sense of humor. She gets my sense of humor, so she thought it was hysterical. So we always talk about the fire extinguisher.
See, that's what Mark should have gotten for his mom.
I know. Mark got the wrong thing. He should have got the kerosene heater and a fire extinguisher. I mean, come on, really? Right? And my mom's even saying online that she doesn't remember the tuna fish. So I said she made me 50,000 tuna fish sandwiches. Maybe she didn't make me any tuna fish sandwiches. Maybe she only gave me $100,000 instead, for $1 a day. Man,
but even if it wasn't sandwiches, Larry, I'm sure there were millions of little things she did every day that we just took for granted, and that's what I wanted to write the song about, just to thank them for all those little things, the sandwiches. Every little thing that they do every single day.
You're making me look bad, man. You know that, right?
No.
Listen, Mom, who's listening, I love you, Mom. You're the best mom ever. And the best thing, I'm going to tell you, the best thing I learned from my mom is generosity. She actually taught me how to be generous. She's one of the most generous people I've ever met in my life. Now, she has money. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's not like, she's not like, she's like Bill Gates where she opens up a charity for something that she can write off in taxes. That's not what my mom does. My mom knows that when her children need her, she's there for her, and she says, "Hey, I'm going to think about something that they need," and she takes care of us. That's what my mom is. That's why my mom is the best, and that's why I love my mom, and that's why my mom, even if she didn't make 100,000 sandwiches, is still better than yours, Glenn.
Well, don't get me in trouble because I think my mom's listening too. I love you too, Mom.
All right. Now, hey, listen. Anybody want to call up? Hey, listen. Anybody want to call up right now and wish their mom a happy Mother's Day? Call up right now because I only got 10 more minutes. 855-939-1137. If you call up and wish your mom a happy Mother's Day, I'm going to give you 2 tickets to the Money Hacks event. And by the way, Mom, are you going to come to my Money Hacks event? It's on June 1st. I want everybody to meet the mother of this son who wrote this great book that, by the way, is already a bestseller, and it's not even released yet. There are so many people buying this book. That's how good this book is. So, Mom, I know I just put you on the spot, so you better say yes, especially after I just said how generous you are. And maybe you should even buy me a present to celebrate it. Do you think I went too far there?
I do get that from you, Larry. I do get that generous spirit that you're talking about.
Well,
so I must commend your mother on that account. I do get that from you.
That's awesome. 855-939-1137, Mom, if you want to call in. 855-939-1137, or if you want to say I love you to your mom over the air, 855-939-1137, and you can have a copy of my book, Money Hacks. Oh, I'm even going to give you the book too. I wasn't supposed to give you the book, but I'm even going to give you the book too. How's that? So you'll come at that night, and if you're a winner, you'll get the book. I'll sign the book, and you'll even have dinner with me. 855-939-1137. Wish your mother a happy Mother's Day. And if you call Mom, I'll even let you come to the dinner too for free. I won't even charge you. I might charge Richard, my stepdad, but I still won't charge you, Mom. All right. So 855-939-1137 if you want to wish your mom a happy Mother's Day, and come to the event. All right, what else is out there? What else? What other cool stuff should we talk about? You know what? I got to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is, of course, COVID. So you guys know how active I was about, being anti-mask and, pro-choice on vaccine, which I find it very interesting that the pro-choice on vaccine, all the people who wanted to make you get a vaccine and make you wear a mask are now all up in arms about the possibility of no longer pro-choice for abortion. But that's another interesting thing. So I was in the mall today. I actually went to the mall today. I was here a little bit early. I went to rent my property, as I said. I went to rent my property in Lansdale. I had a property in Lansdale, and I went to the mall because I was going to be here early, and I didn't want to go right home because to go home and then come back to the office would just be the longer way. So I went to the mall, and I noticed there were lots of people in the mall. They're actually starting to get better. And it's funny because I find that there are two different people. Most of the people in the mall are just like, they're all regular. They used to be the same thing. But there's still that mother who has her mask on with her 3 or 4 children that have the masks on, and I'm like, really, what is wrong with you? And I'm kind of hoping Gary Arnell is listening right now, because we always have this argument. I listen to his show and he talks about COVID and the mask thing, and I think he's crazy for wearing a mask, and I want to meet him in the store so I can say, oh, you one of those guys wearing a mask, because that's what he says every week. So if he's listening, he probably got a kick out of that. But again, I just find it interesting that there were certain stores that still had mask signs and still wearing masks. One of them was the eye store. So you go, and apparently, if you are buying eyeglasses, you can still get COVID if you're in a store with other people buying eyeglasses. That seems to be the only place that you can still get COVID in the mall, because everywhere else it was mask optional. This was the only place that was still wearing masks. I don't know. I find it strange. I find it interesting. I find it kind of sad, that we even have a governor's race coming up, which I can't talk about because I'm not allowed. And my suggestion is to vote for somebody who is pro-choice on vaccine and anti-mask mandate. And, we all know who that governor is, who that governor could be. That's the guy that was on last week that I really, really like, and his first name begins with a D. Huh. Anyway, we'll get back to that another time. All right, so again, if you guys want to call in, 855-939-1137, 855-939-1137. If you want to tell me your Mother's Day story, and you can talk to me about that as well, and or your favorite Mother's Day gift or whatever. Hey, Frank, what's going on? I hear you are in Northeast Philly. What's happening, man?
Hey, Larry, I don't have really no Mother's Day story, except I was a sick kid. Mom was always taking me to doctors, hospitals, all that kind of stuff. But, Mom, happy Mother's Day. I'll be over tomorrow. I love you. And also, Larry, I caught your show, I think it was Wednesday, the best of.
Yeah, sure.
On DB.
Yeah.
And you played your version of Weird Al Yankovic, but put on the Ritz. So he was trying to be rich.
Oh, yeah.
Whether you wear a jacket or a blouse. You want to be as rich as Larry Steinhouse?
Yeah.
Remember that song?
Yeah. I didn't realize that was the best one that they played.
Can you play it again for us? Can you play it again?
I don't know if I have a copy of it. I might be able to. Let me see if I can. If not, I'll have to do it next time.
That was an awesome song, Larry.
Wasn't that funny? Actually, I got to tell you a really funny story about that. Did you watch it online or did you listen on the radio?
I had it on the radio.
Oh, so there's actually a video that goes with that. And I'm wearing, so you remember
really?
AOC, when AOC wore the dress that said, tax the rich?
Yes, I want to kill her.
Right, so I have a white tuxedo that someone painted on the back for me, Become the Rich. So I did a dance to that song in that tuxedo.
How do I find that?
You know what? That's a really good question. I'm not sure. I'll tell you what. Reach out to me.
I can't get it.
Reach out to me on Facebook, and I'll try to get a copy. I just don't know where it is. But I actually, if you watch it on Facebook, if you watch the best of on Facebook that was on a Wednesday, if you look on my Facebook site, it will go to Money Chat Now page, the Money Chat Now page. Just rewind back to it, 3 or 4 days ago, and you can actually watch it because they did play it online. I believe they did play it online that day. I believe they played that best of. If not, then I'll definitely get it for you. But Frank, so you want to come to my Money Hacks event on June 1st and my book signing?
I would love to.
All right, I'll tell you what. Glenn's going to take your information.
I'll bring a guest.
And he's going to take your information, and I'll see you there, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Hey, Larry.
Yeah.
Last week I tuned in right before forget his name, running for Senate or governor. I'm terrible with things.
That's right.
But I noticed did I miss something? I haven't known for a couple of weeks. Is Phil on vacation? What happened with Phil? I don't know.
Oh, so I mentioned it earlier. Phil has left the company. He's moving to Florida, and he's creating a new life. You guys have heard it. If you've heard it before, he's creating a new life in Florida, and this was kind of a distraction now while he's creating his life. So he and I had a long conversation, and we felt that it was time for him to go. He left, and I wish him all luck. He's a great guy, and I actually miss him on the show. But so from now on, you're going to just have to hear my voice. You're not going to be able to hear the voice of the mafioso shyster.
Larry, you're great. I mean, I miss him too, but you're great. I like your DB program. It's fine. You know a lot. You're a knowledgeable person. Hell with Warren Buffett. We got Larry Steinhouse, man.
Man, I like this guy. Oh man, I tell you what. Maybe one day we're going to. Actually, why don't you come Thursday? Why don't you come to class on Thursday, and we'll see you earlier.
Look out for me. Your name's Frank, and I'll be paying attention for you. I really listened to you for a long time, and I look up to you a lot. You're knowledgeable. You talk to people. You don't talk down to us, and you want to try to help us. And I appreciate it. I'm sure everyone does.
Well, thank you, man. I really appreciate the compliment. That was a great way to end the show, man. It's awesome. Thanks, buddy. All right. I guess my mom never called in. She didn't want to talk to me. She's got 2 minutes to call in right now and tell me, but I get it, Mom. If you were on the air and it was Mother's Day, I'd call in to you. But it's not Mother's Day, it's not Son's Day, it's not my birthday, so I guess that's fine. All right, so we got about 2 minutes, real quick. I just want to go over a couple of stock picks that I think are going to be good ones.
Real quick.
Yeah.
If Frank wants to call back in and give a.
Oh yeah, Frank. Hey Frank, you hung up too fast. Call back in. You hung up too fast, and Glenn didn't get your email and your phone number, so we could get you tickets. So just call right back in. All right, where are we? Okay, so real quick, a couple of stocks plays that I think you should play. I'm telling you, the travel stocks. These are the ones. My mom actually she wrote on Facebook. She goes, she's getting a manicure. All right, Mom. So do me a favor. Have the manicurist give me a call, and I'll pay for your manicure for Mother's Day since I didn't get you a present this year because your house didn't burn down and I didn't buy a fire extinguisher. No, actually, she's in Florida, so I told her I would do Mother's Day a couple of weeks when she comes back. She'll be back in this area then, so that's going to do Mother's Day then. But enjoy your manicure, Mom. I'm sure your nails look great. So real quick, the travel stocks. I really, really like the cruise stocks right now. I think they're going to be the best play. I like CCL. I like RCL. I like Norwegian Cruise Lines. I think they're the best plays right now. AAL, if you remember, I panicked through it. I white knuckled through it. I made a nice 60 grand on that play a couple of weeks ago. And if you remember, it went down. My account was hurting for a while. And then sure enough, now it's better, and I sold all my AL, and I just dove into CCL, which hit 16 something the other day. I was like, yike! I was like, oh my goodness, it's so low. It's actually was below 16. It actually closed yesterday. It closed at 1596. And to me, that's a great play. I actually think that's a great play for both the stock and the stock option. So if you wanted to buy that as a stock or stock option, I think it's a great play. Listen, I'm hoping all you guys come to Investor Schooling. Go to investorschooling.com. There you can meet me. You can meet all these people who called this week, and you can wish them all. A happy Mother's Day tomorrow. I guess not really. What day is it? I still don't know. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, I want to thank you, Glenn. You are awesome, man. That song that you wrote was fantastic. I really liked it a lot. And my mom still doesn't remember making me tuna fish sandwiches, so it is what it is. All right, go to investorschooling.com, sign up for a free class, and we will see you Thursday. And if you want to go to the Money Hacks event, go to moneyhackslive.com, moneyhackslive.com. I look forward to seeing you next week.
Wow, you timed that really nicely. Yeah, because